Yep, starting with lots of bosses on any of these floors now. Here's floor 7. And I'm actually taking so much damage that I could conceivably die on any one of these floors moving forward. I need to be careful, still might happen. I think it would be really fun to see how far into the void biome I can get, considering I now do this. But before I get to that, I've got a few more of these orbs to eat somehow still. I just have an endless amount of orbs. And probably a huge amount of other things that I've lost track of because I spent so many hours doing what I did last time. Thousands and thousands and thousands of orbs and bosses. And while I'm waiting for daybreak again to spawn a few more bosses, I'm just going to go around and clear out the entire map. It's literally this easy now, thanks to my fire rod. And I kind of get the map get a little bit overgrown when I was sitting there grinding materials for hours. Somehow I have a leftover 15 sigils, so I can summon 15 bosses right now. We're gonna do that, just to get these out of the way and I can eat a few more orbs for even more damage. I was gonna wait for daylight, but this is already gonna take way too long as it is, so let's just go ahead and summon all the bosses we possibly can right now, and then we'll dispatch them in pretty short order. Those look familiar. Subscribe if you like bosses, we have lots of them here on this channel somehow. And is that all of them? I think that's all of them. That was a lot easier and less painful than it was the last time around. We're still gonna get through all these orbs though, but at least the chests are very fast open now. After a little boss excursion, 77 orbs to get through. That's not that bad, especially considering I can do it this quickly. After consuming all of those orbs, we're now doing 5,481 attack damage according to my sword, and 2,451 according to my meteor rod. And when I actually hit something, 1.22 thousand damage there. With that, 2.44 thousand. That means the enemies in the void biome should die very quickly, at least at first. I imagine they will get tougher and tougher. I'm not sure if there's an end to it or not, but I presume if there is, we're going to find it today. Before I get started, I'm also going to create a vault and throw a bunch of stuff in there, just so it's out of my way. I really hate when my toolbar gets full of stuff I don't need. Especially training dummies. Not sure I ended up with 3 of them, but there they are. Interestingly, I just did a trial run to see if there's any way to pause it once removing. Turns out you can't. So I just let it expire on level 1. Turns out there's a leaderboard now. The deepest so far, 133. At least according to this current leaderboard. I'm not sure if this represents everyone out there, but that gives me something to work with. 133 is the one to beat. Number 4 is I love DF. Can't imagine why. But I love you too, random stranger on the internet. That also means that I'm going to be committed. Once I start this, I can't pause the game. I can't stop. I have no idea how long this is going to take. I might be sitting here for 6 hours grinding through void biomes, so I've got to be committed. My portals seem to have disappeared. That must be a new feature. Not to worry, I've got lots more of those somewhere in my vaults. And now that it's almost midnight, let's get started. And no, I'm not going to use any potions throughout this because by the time I'm going to need them, well, it's going to be hours from now. I just don't care that much. There is also the new timer and it says how many enemies are left for once, which is nice because I was always guessing. I had no idea how many enemies were on any floor or how many I had left to kill. Obviously, floor number 1 here, not going to be much of a problem. Unfortunately, I do have to see the enemies to kill them. I can't just fire the fireballs off the screen. That was one of the first things I'd hoped would work, but I'm kind of glad it doesn't work that way. I like to look them in the eyes as they die. Other than that, it's basically the same strategy as always. Either hit him with the fire rod or use the land to bridge the gap. I kinda wish I'd put more stuff out of my inventory so I could scroll easier, or I could even just bother to use the number keys, but that's not gonna happen at this late hour. 1 enemy left, and we still have 2.5 minutes left. Again, this is only the first floor. As we saw before, once you get down deeper, it basically spawns all sorts of bosses, which spawn all sorts of more enemies. And they put an arrow towards the portal now. Every time I play Forager now, there's all sorts of new little updates that actually make a world of difference. They're clearly paying attention and improving the game every time I play. Not sure, but I'm pretty sure there were only 17 enemies on the first floor. This one had 19 to start. Not even 5 minutes into this run and I'm already tired and unfocused, so this is clearly gonna go great. Floor 2 somehow was much easier. All the enemies are really grouped up, which is bad for them considering all I have to do at that point is this, and they all die. I've developed something of a new strategy. As long as I keep firing at least periodic fireballs out there, they do seem to be getting some enemies that I don't see, which kills them a lot quicker. That way I don't have to run all the way over to find them. And I guess the fireballs just do kind of keep going until they hit something. This floor is kind of interesting because there's 0 enemies left and I don't really have a portal. Or an arrow pointing toward a portal. Or I'm just too tired to see it maybe. That could also be a thing. Just starting to do some mental math here. Even at 2 minutes of floor, or 100 floors, that's gonna be 200 minutes, and that's at 2 minutes of floor. They're gonna start to take longer than that. The only question now is, will the sun come up before I'm done this stupid idea? Floor number 6, I think, and the first boss. The first boss dead. Maybe that's not technically even a boss, I'm not really sure. It's a large enemy. I'm gonna call them bosses, but they are what they are. And the first ghost boss, or big ghost, whatever you want to call it, it's dead. Here's floor 10. So far, no problems. That whatever actually just dropped a potion. I might have just dropped a bunch of them. I'm gonna drink it anyway because it was kind enough to provide me with it. This is kind of an annoying one because it mostly blocks my vision, but if I'm fireballing everything anyway, not really a big deal. Floor 15. Starting to get to those floors that have a lot of those flaming skulls floating around, and those get annoying to deal with because there's just so many of them. Luckily this time I have the ability to fight fire with fire, and I've got more fire than they do. There's something new on this floor. I don't know what it is yet, but I can hear it. And it's probably the Skeleton Kings. I haven't seen them yet, and they're first appearing right now. I got an achievement for level 20, so I guess I didn't get that far last time. I want to say 18. This is a lot easier this time, but it's still getting noticeably harder already. I just saw the very first Beat King as well, so the bosses are definitely getting stronger. Not sure if there's anything else that's going to appear. Starting to see a decent frame rate drop on some of these floors too. I saw it drop as low as 45 on the last one. Starting off floor 22, we have 2 Beat Kings, 2 of the electric dudes, 1 of the big reds. I think it's mostly all bosses now, except for that. Look at all the Beat Kings though. Is that even what they're called? I don't really remember now. I know it was Skeleton King. I'm not sure if it's Beat King or not. Alright, I'm not imagining things. This one isn't giving me the arrow. You need to be so close to the portal before it's going to show you. I get it now. That only took me 25 floors to figure out. Void level 30. That's Void Master. So by the time I hit 100, I should be really tired, but probably get a pretty good achievement. And there's level 40. Don't get an achievement for that because I guess level 40 isn't special. I am also finding a lot of star shards down here. Once I clear out this little mess, we'll actually check and see how many I found so far. I was struggling so much the other day to keep up with them. Alright, we got time for a breather. We have 3,081, or alternatively 3,810. This will be level 50. And just to give you some idea of what that looks like, I'm going to start out the level to show you guys. Everything starts to spawn pretty quickly, but it's after a few seconds all the beats start to spawn. And it looks like this for a while. Still nothing too bad, just time consuming. And here's floor 60. This is taking a long time, but we should be over halfway there. I don't know how long we're going to be able to go for. I assume at some point there's going to be so many enemies that my frame rate really starts to drop. Or I'm just going to run out of time. We'll see what one comes first. The floors are definitely starting to get a lot busier, at least the first one of the beats spawn in. Actually starting to take some considerable damage on some of these floors. It's mostly when all the beats spawn in, 10 seconds after the floor starts and all those orbs come shooting out. I can get my health back right away, but it's not going to take too much more damage to actually cause me issues. Yep, starting with lots of bosses on any of these floors now. Here's floor 70. And I'm actually taking so much damage that I could conceivably die on any one of these floors moving forward. I need to be careful, still might happen. I've just had sort of a realization, an idea. If I zoom out, I'll be able to see a lot more things going on and maybe get enemies to spawn sooner. So let's try zooming it all the way out. Already I can see way more of what's going on in the world, so let's see how this works out. So on this floor where there's lots of enemies spawning right away, I'll just start firing away, and so far I like this. I can hit way more enemies now on the screen. And also probably absorb way more bullets. But so far so good, I'm gonna like it this way. Yeah, this floor was so much easier. Playing zoomed out is definitely the way to do this. Playing this way probably would have got me here in half the time it has so far. One of the problems with playing so zoomed out with so many things going on the screen, I lose track of my cursor. It's a small problem to have, but it's pretty annoying, and anything that's annoying me at this part is going to start really annoying me in about an hour. And here's floor 80. I'm actually starting to feel revitalized because of my newfound progress. I've misclicked onto my other monitors so many times now, it's driving me nuts. Also, I must have zoned out for a while because I have no idea what floor I'm on. I'll try and catch us up on the next one. Turns out we were on floor 86. I'm not sure if I counted 80 even, I don't remember. I almost died on this floor, by the way. I was down to 3 hearts. Just because I just happened to get hit with enough of the bullets. I'm also getting hit by a ton of those little frozen things, which seems different on this floor. I'm not sure why. Suddenly there's way more of those. I seem to be having a small problem. The arrow is pointing me upwards, and there's nothing there to kill. So that's worrying. I've got 2.5 minutes left to figure this out. Killed the other enemy. There's one left. Apparently it's up top, and it's not. So that's wonderful. I'm gonna walk around the map really quick. Hopefully something changes. Would be pretty annoyed if the run ended this way, all the way down to floor, I don't even know what, 87, 90, and lost it due to a bug. Okay, whatever you are, I really need you to show up now. Maybe if I zoom in, I'm running out of ideas here. This is pretty worrying for me. Going up, and there's nothing there. Hit it with my sword? Anything? Nope. Excellent. 1 minute and 10 seconds left. Maybe the lightning in the bottle? Thunderstrike? Whatever it's called? It's just not really registering that there's supposed to be an enemy or something. I'm not really sure it is, but I'm Pretty sure it's just a bug. And this is all happening at a pretty inconvenient point in time. It's not so far enough along that I would consider this a success, but it's not early enough on that I didn't have to waste a bunch of time. So this is just outstanding. I guess when I die or leave here, whatever, it'll tell me what floor we're actually on. I think it's about 90. I made it to floor 88. That did put me on the leaderboard, but I didn't quite make it as far as I Love DF. One day I'll get there. But that's pretty heartbreaking considering it wouldn't really have taken me that much longer to get all the way up to here. I already wasted all these hours sitting here, grinding through the night. So I guess I'll do this all again one day when I feel like doing that all again and hoping for a not bug.